to That's So Vegan. We have another installment about childhood favorite meals. Today we're going to be talking to an extremely talented comedian. I met this gentleman at the Bronson Bar one day. With no further ado, can we introduce Mr. Dave Helem, please?
On my plate, the diet plant-based. Get the fuck about my face, your breath smelling.
We have Dave here today. What's your favorite childhood meal? We're gonna ask you why later, but can you just tell the folks what we'll be making today?
Pizza. I'm from Chicago, and we stand by this shit, man. So we're on the vegan show. I was like, let's do some vegan deep dish. Not that thin crust shit. Okay, that bowl, the pizza bowl, baby.
Your time's up. Your time's up.
I'm gonna need the dough so we can make sure you stay fresh while you do this.
Can we just keep saying bread jokes like that?
Yeah, we could do all the bread puns.
I like that.
So with this, we want to use half the dough. The dough takes about an hour to rise with some self-activating yeast. So all of this was made by hand. So it's just olive oil, salt, all-purpose flour, and water. So you're not getting any of that processed stuff. If you are a fan of gluten-free foods, instead of using the all-purpose flour, you just want to use any type of gluten-free flour. I would say the chickpea flour is definitely one of the best as an alternative to the wheat flour.
I would definitely want to say this too. I mean, like, since I've been in here, I've been learning about all different stuff that I didn't know existed. So chickpea dough, that's not something you just made up right now?
No, it's not. So chickpea flour, they call it aquafaba. So the water that's left over from the chickpea can is actually nutritious and protein. Some people use that to create flour and bake. So what was your first experience with vegan food?
This sounds very cliche, but I was dating a white woman in Chicago, and she would take me to fancy restaurants where we would have vegan delicacies. I was like, word. And it wasn't bad. It was just like my palate wasn't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, like something like, I don't know, like I didn't like beer, you know, right? And now beer's delicious. So it's just one of those things that I grew into it, and I got exposed to more and more vegan stuff. And because once you kind of like wrap your mind around it, like that is vegan, right? That's kind of like half the battle, you know what I mean? So like I took away that stigma, and we here now.
Yeah, I took my mom to a restaurant in Philadelphia. It's called Veg. It's supposed to be the best vegetarian restaurant in the country. And she's eating the food, but she's making this funny face. She's just like, and I'm like, is it nasty? She's like, no, it's delicious. It's just vegan. And so it's just getting over what that term vegan actually means.
It's hard to get black older women. Like my mom, like I offer her like vegetarian substitutes, and not even vegan, just vegetarian. She'd be like, no, like fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like where to be at? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get you a vegan fish stick so you can shut the fuck up.
I got you.
Very therapeutic.
Now, you do a lot of comedy. One of my favorite skits of yours is the gluten-free skit.
That gluten joke was fun because back in the day, I used to be with Second City in Chicago, and we had a show called Black Side of the Moon, which was like a black sketch show. And if you don't know the joke is about a white guy taking me to a protest and showing me what's important to them, like their struggles. Right, as opposed to like a Black Lives Matter rally that I took my white friend to, he took me to an anti-gluten rally because that's what's important in these white streets. That joke started out as a sketch, and then you saw it on Laugh Tracks for True TV, and I think I got all my bread jokes pretty much in that one. But that joke has grown so much because people give you tags. People think it's comics, like we make up everything. We don't. A lot of times you might tell a joke, and somebody might say, "Man, why don't you say this? Why don't you say that?" Like I was in New York, and Michael Che from Saturday Night Live was on the show, and I told that joke, and he was like, "That joke was funny, but why don't you say F these crackers?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I went back and I figured out how to work "fuck these crackers" as the punchline into the joke.
Gotcha.
So I came up with like these black folks came to the rally, and they came to support their white brothers and sisters. and they had their signs that said "fuck these crackers." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's how we did it, right? So
Early in the morning and I'm feeling like Zeus getting on.
Dave, we got the dough. We got an assortment of veggies behind us. We got cherry tomatoes, mushrooms, green peppers, and onions.
Okay.
Those are gonna be our toppings. So when you're making this pizza, you wanna lightly oil the skillet, run the garlic around that skillet. The way I like to do this is I like to do cheese, veggies, sauce, cheese. Today we got some cheese from Fromage. It's a vegan cheese company over there on Sunset. So we got the pecorino, mozzarella, and the gorgonzola cheese. Gorgonzola, we're gonna dig into that crust. So the deep dish has that like cheesy kind of blue flavored cheese.
now I noticed that we got this big ass pot, right?
Yeah.
And I guess like if we were doing thin crust, we wouldn't need this big ass pot.
No.
Right? Okay.
So if we were doing thin crust, you could just do it on a pizza cooker.
Yeah.
You could just do it on a flat baking sheet. But because we got the deep dish, we're gonna just plop it in the middle, and then we're gonna push it up against the sides about an inch up.
You know, this is like the civil war of pizza. Like people really take offense to deep dish pizza, especially like if you're from the East Coast. People really don't like it. They say, "Oh, that ain't pizza." And I said, "You put trash on the streets, you nasty, dirty motherfuckers." Right? So it's like, as a Chicagoan, I'm very proud of deep dish pizza because it is Chicago. It's a very Chicago thing. But people from New York City do not fuck with it. And we don't normally like their thin crust, but I don't hate on their pizza. They just hate on our pizza.
Nah,
I will
man.
eat thin crust.
I always feel like New York's known for the big slice, and Chicago is that deep dish, that hearty filling pizza. It's hard. I lived in New York before I moved to LA, and it was hard to find a good slice of pizza.
You heard that? Shots fired. Stop wearing bulletproof vests over t-shirts, okay?
So when you're
my
cooking in the
God.
crib, what do you typically listen to?
I like a lot of instrumentals
Okay.
in the house, like hip hop, like Odyssey. It's just like really just chill instrumentals. I'm a real chill person.
Okay.
I want either like instrumentals or I like soul music. You know what I'm saying? Just
Okay.
like straight up, like Teddy Pendergrass,
Hey.
Minnie Riperton type.
Marvin Gaye.
Marv, like, but not like Motown, like Perm Marvin. I mean, like when he looked like he was homeless. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? Like when he had the beard and
The DC Marvin
when
Gaye.
he was woke, right? Yeah, that's a Marvin I like.
I'm just gonna mix up the cheese. Give you those different flavors.
It's like food porn, man. Like just spreading the cheese, like it's very therapeutic.
What's your top two or top three favorite TV shows right now?
Sherman Showcase on IFC.
Okay.
It's a black sketch show that is South Side on Comedy Central because that's about the South Side of Chicago. It was funny because the same people made both of those shows, like my boy Bashir and Diallo. And a third show that I haven't even seen yet, but my girl was watching it last night and she was just cracking up. It's called a Black Lady Sketch Show. I got to check that out because I've heard good stuff and I'm sure that that's gonna be real dope.
Okay.
It's like a renaissance going on with just like smart black dope shit, and I'm here for it, bro.
Okay. It was like a black comedy show on HBO. It's like almost like a sketch show. It was strictly about blackness.
I know it's called Random
Acts of Flyness.
Random Acts of Fly. Now that shit was dope. It was like too woke. Sometimes I was like, nigga, what is happening? But yeah, but that was a dope show.
Cool. About to bring the veggies over.
It was super black though. It was good.
Yeah. She's on. If you could just redecorate it,
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? Give it that Chicago
Word.
flair.
What type of mushrooms are these?
These are maitake mushrooms, also hen of the woods. That's like the street name.
They got street names for mushrooms, nigga?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
all right. What?
Since
He's
you
like, this is Kentucky, but on the streets it's into the woods. All right.
decorate that.
All right. Word. Spread it around, make it look sexy. Now the green peppers and the onions are a very Chicago thing with the pizza, man.
Okay.
Like as a Chicago staple, you do not have a pizza in Chicago without the green peppers.
Ooh. Now with the dope comedy jam, or the dope comedy show, how did that come to be?
Very simple, Mr. Hip. It came out because when I moved here from Chicago, people didn't know who I was. And, you know, stage time is hard. It's like 30 billion comedians in the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really getting booked like I wanted to, and I know I'm funny. And I just said, fuck it, I'm going to create my own show. So it was a monthly show at one point, but I was like, I want to be on stage more often than just once a month, right? So I decided to do it every week. It wasn't easy, but it's been 2 years now, and we still popping. I feel like the best time of the year, like in terms of the turnout, is like when it gets a little colder.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when it gets darker quicker, people want to come out. When it's warm and beautiful like the summertime now, it's harder to get folks out, but it's just a space to work out my comedy and have my friends work out their comedy, and it's just like it's a good vibe.
My favorite part about the show is just the eclectic mix of comedians. You know, you can have, I think I've seen like 6 to 8 comedians a time, and you know, if you from anywhere in the world, you can find at least 2 or 3 of those comedians to make you laugh.
That's it's a big part of the joint. It's just having different types of funny on one show, because comedy is not, it's not one type of funny. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different styles, and I like to have a show. I really hate going to shows. I did a show called Mo Better Mondays at the Improv.
Okay.
When Spike was the promoter for it. And I ripped it. I had a good time. But he told me, he was like, man, I thought you was going to be like blacker. You know what I'm saying? And that offended the fuck out of me, because it's like a lot of times with comics, they're thinking about black humor, and they think of like more eccentric, more like animated type stuff. And we all not like that. You know, some comics may be like that, but some comics might just have a drier, you know, more chill persona. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I think sometimes different forms of humor make people feel uncomfortable, or it's not what they like, or it's like, you know, some people just want to hear more of a higher energy comedy. It's fine.
It's not what they expect, and then, you know, it's like typecasting almost.
Yeah, I'm just trying to change the black narrative of comedy. Not change it, but just have it to be that, like, it's just not one level of black comedy.
Black comedy. Yeah.
And my show's a reflection of that.
So just getting those Italian herbs on the crust for you, you know what I'm saying? So it's baked in there. Got that good flavor.
That good flavor. Yeah. So all this cheese is just gonna melt?
Yep. And then this is my secret ingredient, nutritional yeast. Put this on everything.
What is it?
It's a deactivated yeast. It's packed with and fortified with B12 vitamins, because you know when you don't eat meat, you need to get that B12 from somewhere, and it gives stuff like a cheesy, nutty flavor. So if you got popcorn, you sneak it to the movie theater, chili powder with this over the popcorn, you got some chili and cheese popcorn.
But it's yeast. But it's like, it get like a...
It's deactivated yeast. It's not like the yeast. So how's it looking?
It's delicious, man.
Cool. So we're gonna put this in the oven on 450 degrees for about 25 minutes, or until the crust burns.
Okay.
And while we have that sitting, I'll show you how to do the mac and cheese.
All right, let's go.
All right, cool. Can you open it up for me?
This the recipe, chefing up my specialty. Cook it up, 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 cook it up.
My favorite part about having Dave come today is that he not only has one childhood favorite meal, but he actually has 2. So now we're also going to be making a vegan mac and cheese. So for the mac and cheese, it's about 1.5 cups of soaked cashews. I like to boil the water first, and then let the cashews sit in that, followed by 1 freshly squeezed lemon, followed by some turmeric, some garlic powder, and then salt. And then my secret ingredient, which is every vegan secret ingredient, is the nutritional yeast. So
back to the yeast.
Yes, back to that. Just for the sake of it, we can call nutritional yeast by its nickname, which is Nooch, Nooch. So if you see Nooch flying about, people are talking about.
I have seen that.
Yeah, that's nutritional yeast. So Dave, if you could start on the cheese sauce, just blend that up, press down on the blender.
I gotta hold it?
The pot. Yep.
The cheese sauce is done.
I tried to get fancy and get the bow tie noodles for you.
I see. I was like, we doing the Hollywood mac and cheese.
Just gonna add some of this mozzarella cheese.
Look at that. Look at that vegan cheese.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's nice and thick too. I'm saying? Like a nice, it smells good. If you're having a bad day, man, fuck therapy. Just stir it. Like, this is therapeutic as shit. Sound like sex. You hear that? That's what all good sex sounds like. That's the smoke. That's like my secret weapon.
The smoked paprika.
Smoke paprika boy. What?
I didn't know the difference between smoking regular paprika, and so when I started fixing it, and I got smoked paprika, and I was like, oh, this is why you supposed to use smoked paprika.
Cause it's smoky than a motherfucker, bro.
So we're gonna try this mac and cheese.
Okay.
While we wait for the pizza.
It smells amazing.
But let's give it a try. Might be a little hot.
That's fucking great.
I like that.
That's good. That's dangerous. I could eat a lot of this. Okay.
If you like this though, can't wait for you to try that pizza.
It's not delivery. It's vegan pizza. This shit is good. Let's go.
Just ask your bitch, ask your bitch. Who is Mr. Hip? Just ask your bitch,
That's fucking incredible.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. I know it's hot, but I'm glad. I can't wait till you get to the crust. That's probably gonna be the best part.
Yeah, man. This is my shit, man. Like I told you, I didn't know what to expect. This is LA, like Chicago adjacent right now. Okay, I feel like we're on Franklin, but I'm also in Wrigleyville right now. But there's some drunk white boys say racist shit across the street right now. So like, I'm back home. It's great, man.
Appreciate that. Much love. I hope you can make this with your fam, your friends, anybody you got coming through. While we still have everyone's attention, can you tell our viewers where they can find you at online, in person, just all of that info?
Everything on social media is just my name. This is Dave Helem, Helem. Fuck with me. Every Thursday night, I'm at the Bronson Bar in Hollywood. I have my own show. It's called a Dope Comedy Show in LA. Doors at 8, show at 9. It's free. There's no 2 drink minimum, none of that bullshit, no cover. Just dope times, dope people. See y'all on Thursday. That's it. I mean, I got other stuff going on, but that's my baby right there. Fuck everything else.
Thank y'all for joining us today, and thank y'all for taking part in this pizza. But me and Dave got some food to finish. Peace.